Well, I met Caroline in 2009, and we got married in 2014, bringing both our families together. I've got 2 daughters. Caroline's got 2 sons.
Yep.
And since 2014, we've managed to buy a house, try and sell a house and buy another house.
Indeed.
And at the same time, recently, in December of last year, I sold my shares in the business I've been associated with since 2003, which is I Holland Limited, a local business based in Long Eaton. My association obviously with I Holland goes back to 2003 when I was employed as finance director, and in that role I first came across Cooper Parry as our company auditors, and through my association and friendship with Andrew Oliman, was introduced ultimately to David Holmes from Cooper Parry Wealth, who from day one we got on really well. Obviously when I met Caroline, our wealth and our future planning needed to be good, needed to be secure for the rest of the family, and that's what I've been working on, what we've been working on with David and with the team at Cooper Parry Wealth over the last few years. And the way that David and his team work suits us both very well. It's very informal, very structured, and very, very professional, and has helped us considerably in planning for what we now hope will be a nice introduction into semi-retirement.
The way they illustrated all the future projections, and it was, for me, I'm not on the finance side of things at all. I was a teacher, so I'm used to learning to read and write, not financial forecasts. But they were incredibly clear, amazingly illustrative. It opened up everything before my eyes, and I couldn't quite believe the picture I was seeing in front of me. They were fantastic at presenting that information, and it made it really understandable. Just so very, very impressed with them, both of them. Well, all the team. 4 years ago?
Yes, from 2015 really, just after we got married. They were forecasting what potential wealth we would have, given the fact that I was still then a major shareholder in I Holland. So even though I had wealth in the value of the shares, I didn't have liquid wealth. And what they did was effectively project going forward, given certain timelines and certain events happening, such as a buyout, what that would mean to us as regards affordability for buying houses, for funding the kids' either the kids' education or giving them deposits to buy houses and get on the housing ladder, and that really started from around about 2015.
That was just.
And it's been kept updated, hasn't it? Every 6 months to 12 months.
But it really all fell into place after the first thing. It was just so amazing, and the way they put flexibility into it as well, because they got quite good if we went and accidentally bought another car, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that tended to happen quite a lot.
And that, so that just could, so that even that was built into looking forwards. Just amazing. So it enabled me to be as confident as David with things and realise, well, okay then, this is the way we see things going for us as a family, without feeling guilty or worrying, but saying, yes, we can do this, this is what the plan is for. So it was rather a nice position to be in.
But the relationship has carried on going I mean, I've known David for many years now, but to introduce Caroline into that, and now his team, Tom and Stefano,
Yeah,
Um,
great.
it's
like
it's
I'm
evolving as more people get involved with it. So it's gone to the point now where we're talking about. I mean, tax has always been a big issue, but inheritance tax, for example. So planning for the inheritance tax issues and what we can do about that and safeguard or minimise the tax that the estate would have to pay. So looking at getting insurance policies for that. So it's looking at all aspects of our life, not just the wealth aspect, but also what we can do now with the inheritance tax issues that we will have, unless we manage to spend it all before we disappear, which is always an option. Yeah, with the milestones that we've got on the way that Cooper Parry Wealth plan our future out, we've got certain things that we wanted to do, but we didn't know necessarily when they were going to happen, and so they have that flexibility so that, you know, when we buy a house or say one of the children needs a deposit for the house, they fit that into the plan, and just it then just seamlessly shows us how that's going to affect you know, coming years, and that's the beauty of it. That's the nice thing about it, is that we can then see basically straight away how that will roll itself out. And for someone like you know, Caroline, who isn't a financial accountant or anything like that, it's very, very easy for us to see that. So, you know, I'm not spending time trying to explain it, because it's all there in front of us.
They also come up with ideas that we haven't thought of. They're wonderful at mentioning, and those are very, very useful. So it's an ongoing two-way process, which has been completely marvellous.
Yeah, and as government change policy as well, you know, there are different things you can and cannot do. So, you know, it's always nice to have our 6-monthly catch-ups, or, you know, there's a phone call in between if something needs to be discussed. So we're not waiting 6 months or 12 months. We have an ongoing relationship, and that's the nice thing about it. It is a relationship. It's not somebody, I've got to go and see them in 6 months. It's something that we genuinely do, you know, like catching up with people.
Yeah, they've also got their new online system, the Vault. So they encourage us to put all our documentation on there, to update anything as it happens, to let them know, so that they can tweak things as they're going along. So it's continually being reviewed.
Yeah, that's great for me, because I hate paper. As David and Tom and Stefano will know, trying to get paper off me is very difficult. But to get an electronic copy of something is the way forward. You know, we shouldn't have to have reams of paper lying around nowadays, which we haven't.
No.
That would shredder.
It was just brilliant. I was blown away by all the information that they could put in front of my eyes. Obviously I knew the general picture that we were talking about, but not in depth how they could look at the way our spending patterns could be continued, move forwards, allow for major purchases in the future, have a bit of a penchant for cars. We accidentally buy them from time to time. It was all built in, it was very flexible, but I could see it in charts, in graphs, on screen in front of my eyes. It was amazingly helpful, and I was then just as confident as David had been with financial future, and it was just a huge weight off my mind, and really useful for us both.
Yeah, it's always useful for me to know that Caroline actually understood what we could achieve, and as I say, more importantly, what we'd be able to do for the kids.
And that understanding wasn't fully there before, but it was a bit of a light bulb moment when I went to the first Cooper Parry Wealth session, because it all became clear. It was great.
Yeah, and it continues to be continues to evolve, and as life, you know, throws things at you, it's continuously updated. I'll say that word. It's updated all the time.
We look forward to getting together with David and just updating, tweaking, generally listening to advice, and it's a really pleasurable experience.
Yeah, and look forward to him telling me off for buying another car, which tends to happen.
You did tell me I wasn't going to have a Nissan Leaf.
I did.
No, David told me.
Yeah, I did say you weren't
He
going to have a
said-
Nissan Leaf, yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
didn't.
was it David did?